All right, so this one is a little bit different. Because one of the main things that I've talked about on this channel before is, um, in a sense, the lack of appreciation, right? That um, the world has for men, and the lack of acknowledgement, right, for the things that men do. And, you know, my main thing that I've tried to do throughout a lot of my videos is to try to give, a lot of that appreciation because I understand as a man, we do, in a sense, have that belief and say that, yo, I don't need no acknowledgement. I don't need nobody to, tell me, all this whoop de whoop and all this, type of stuff. But we all know that, even just a little bit, it goes, a long way. And the the main reason why I tried, for a lot of my videos at the end, giving appreciation is to, give that little bit because I understand that that's something that we don't really get. That's something that we don't really hear. And, sometimes we'll all, have those days where it's like silence and all you can hear is in a sense your own thoughts and it can get a little bit maddening when you can't you know uh swim your way directly out of that, right? And the other thing I try to get through is that you have to in a sense fight. You cannot as a man we have a lot of battles, we have a lot of fights that we have to go through. And you know, some of those greatest fights that, we'll have, you know, from beginning up until we're not here is the fight that we have to have with ourselves. It'll come a time where you will hear, right, those thoughts. And you will, in a sense, be tempted potentially to, just want to end everything. But you have to fight. You can never let any of those thoughts, any of those voices, any of those words that you're negatively telling yourself, you can never allow those to overpower what is physically here. You have to take account of the things that you love. You have to take account of the things that you care about. You got to take account for, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. You got to, look at who you are and remember why it is that you're here. Like if you don't have a purpose, then you need to sit up there and talk to yourself in the mirror and either figure one out or make one up for yourself and live for that purpose. And then after you, successfully accomplish that, you make another one. Never at a point in time should you as a man give in to defeat because that's not what we do. Maybe, when you're at a weak point where, it just seems in a sense hopeless. You'll have like the weight of the world, and you can just feel it every time you get up, every time you breathe, every time you walk, every time you talk, every time you eat, every time you rest, you feel it. It's there. And it's like no matter how much you try or how many more, successes that you get, or no matter how strong you are, it's like that weight is just the heaviest weight ever in life. And no amount of training can help you lift it. And, it's tough. And, you don't have to, directly take my word. Some people, they might say like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Right. And, because I've had times I've had conversations with people, and I've told people it's like, yo, the thought process of wanting to, you know, take, your own, life into your own hands, to, change that whole course and to just silence everything. That's a weak mind frame, right? And you do your best to tell people it's like, yo, those are things that you're telling yourself. Those are negative reinforcements, right? To basically stop yourself from, doing the things that you are supposed to be doing in life. And, you know, for me, the reason why I say it is because I have an understanding, because I've tried that twice when I was younger. And I came to the realization that, after a second failed attempt, it was like, yo, this ain't it. This ain't the job. I'm obviously, supposed to be, doing something else. So it's like it makes no sense to put time and energy into something, and you failed at it twice. It's like, hey, universe sitting up there telling you, nah, coach, not today. It ain't happening. So, you know, didn't try for a third time because I'm like, yeah, I ain't about to be a three times failure. That's just nah, we ain't doing that, right? So, as I've told y'all before, and some live streams and and different stuff like that. Um, I understand. I understand how hard, I understand how difficult it is as a man to try to, measure up to try to, exceed, whatever it is that, people have, out here, of men, and try to live by, whatever, words that you've given yourself, or to try to be the best father that you are, to try to be the best boyfriend, the best husband, the best son. And it's tough, you know because you reflect on a lot of stuff and you'll just be looking like, damn, it's a lot of l's, it's a lot of l's out there, and like I keep saying in a lot of videos, as men, this is just something that we have to walk with, that we have to deal with. you know Others out there not gonna, really understand that part of being a man, right? Where you have to, consistently take L's in order to make it to where you are. And knowing the fact of, uh, you know, being a man, that you're not really appreciated. You're, in a sense, devalued. That people will take you for granted. That, people will overlook the small things that you do, that people won't acknowledge the things that you do. And the only time that it seems that people actually care or deem men as worth is the moment in time that we're no longer here. So the main thing that you got to do is you got to keep fighting. Whatever you believe in, whatever you believe in yourself, you just have to you got to keep going. You got to keep fighting. That's what we do. You know, we are fathers, we are brothers, we are best friends, we are uncles, we are grandfathers, we are protectors, we are providers, right? The love that we give to the people that we love is vastly different from women. You know, ours might seem a little bit harsh at times, but we know behind it all, it's like, yo, we saying it like that because we care. It's like, yeah, it might sting, yeah, it might hurt, it might feel like a punch to the gut, but it's like, yo, for us, it's like we would rather have you take that punch versus, you know, uh, what the world is going to give you. Like, that's us trying to condition you to, be able to face a lot of the things that's out here because it's far worse, far, far, far worse. So it's like to the men out there, it's like, yo, just understand and know that you are appreciated and you've always been appreciated. Every single move and alignment, every single success is appreciated. Even the failures are appreciated because those are still learning lessons for other men as well. Because that's the way we work. We learn from not only our own success and failures, but we learn from other men as well. And through that learning, that's how we build ourselves up and how we become better men and how it is that we don't stumble over the exact same obstacle. And once we gain that knowledge, we pass that on so that the next man or the next young man, doesn't stumble. So that all of the mistakes that we've made throughout our lives, we can shorten that, right? For the ones coming behind us. So it's like, you just you can never give up. You have to keep fighting. It's a necessity. It's a need. It's, something that's non-negotiable, you know, regardless on if you know it or not, you can't, in a sense, fail. Even when you fail, you can't fail. And even when you're in that failure, you can't allow the past failures or the weight of the world or the negative thoughts, the what ifs, to stop you from doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Every man out here has a purpose. It doesn't matter if it's given to you. It doesn't matter if you were born with it, or it doesn't matter even if you created it for yourself. Every man has a purpose as to why it is that they are here. So just because you don't see it or understand it doesn't mean that you're a failure and doesn't mean that it's no reason for you to be here. There's always a need for men to be here. Regardless of whatever the world says right now, there is always a need for men to be here. The reason that we've lasted so long is because we're able to evolve. It's because we're able to adapt. We can switch to a different lane if need be, or we can erase the divide directly in the lane and just make it one whole complete lane. We can make anything work. So don't give in to negative thoughts. Don't feed into those thoughts when they show up consistently, when they're there, when nobody else is there, when you're by yourself in that darkness. You don't see any type of light. Don't grab on and hold on to those thoughts because it's the first thing that responded to you. Sometimes you might have to keep walking blind for a minute up until you can actually see the sunrise, up until you can actually see that light. Don't allow those negative thoughts to be that life raft, to be that life preserver. Sometimes, in order to make it, you might have to keep swimming. Sometimes you might have to drown just a little bit, just so you can sit up there and see that light, just so you can get that force that you feel within yourself. Be like, yo, not today. Let me take another breath. Let me reach the top of that water. Let me see if I can do more. Let me see if I can find a different route. Never give in to that negativity. Never let that negativity be your source of light. Never let that negativity be the end goal, the thing to encapsulate your whole life, everything that you are. Never let that happen. It's far too easy to want to end it versus wanting to stay, wanting to walk through it, jog through it, run through it, push through it, break through it, punch through it. It's way easier to take the route of least resistance versus standing, staying, fighting, and taking those hits. Mike Tyson said that everybody has a plan up until they get punched. And the way I look at that is that every man out here has been taking punches. So, and we still standing. So obviously, we got a plan. And you just have to have faith in yourself and you got to believe in yourself. Because, at least from my experience, and this is, not trying to get religious or anything like that. This is just me telling people that it comes to a point in time that you have to, talk to you. You got to believe in you. No God is going to sit up there and save you in a sense on that one. You have to honestly sit down with yourself and listen to yourself. And you have to determine the routes and the roads that you are going to take as a man. Because the main thing that I always took from church was that God gave you common sense. So with that common sense, you got to make your decisions. You got free will. You got to make your own decisions, and you have to be liable for those decisions. Because if you do whatever you want to do, you can't sit up there and blame God in the end. That's on you. So it ain't gonna be no God to sit up there and like walk you through this. It ain't gonna be no book to sit up there and help you because everybody's experience and understanding when it deals with like that darkness is vastly different. Everybody got their own fight. And as men we know this. So my expectation of you is to fight the same way that I've been doing my whole life. You gotta just sit there and you gotta fight.